place, the shopping center that I was in yesterday's video. Or, yeah, okay. So, we are going to be ranking movies today, dear. So, I've got a list. So, we're going to be ranking 2024 movies. And I have, I don't want to show you because I don't want to give anything away just yet, but I have a long list. I'll do it real quick. I have a long list. So, some of you might not know, but I am a really big movie watcher. I've been going to the movie theater every Tuesday of last year. Not every Tuesday, but most of every Tuesday. I usually go on Tuesdays because tickets are only $5, which is great compared to the $14, $15 when you go on another day. It's crazy. But yeah, so Tuesdays are $5, and if I get the tickets on the Fandango app, every 5 tickets that I get a $5 coupon. So sometimes I only see a movie for $2 because the $5 cuts it out, and then tax is $2. So it's really great. But so I've seen about 40, a little bit beyond 40 movies in the theaters this year, which is or last year, I guess, which is crazy. Whenever I tell people that, they're like, wow, that's crazy. But I enjoy it. I usually go alone because I don't really have anybody else to go with me. So, I mean, I did have family come with me at some of these movies, but yeah, most of them I just went alone, which there's nothing wrong with. So I'm gonna go ahead this year, but last year were kind of like not the best. I mean, there's been some really great songs coming from the movies, but I don't know. But I feel like none of the songs kind of continued the story, and I think it needed a little bit more action, and then it would be higher on my list. Okay, fourth worst movie of the year. We're still in the F tier, so I would have to say Borderlands. Borderlands, and I think the reason why it's really low is because I'm not that familiar with the game. I'm not really familiar with the game, so I thought it was very kind of boring. There was some good action sequences, and I'm a big fan of action sequences, but I don't know, I stayed during the movie, you know, I watched it to the end. Drive Away Dolls was the only one I walked out of, which I don't usually do. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it was alright. Okay, and then the last movie we have on F tier is Lisa Frankenstein. I kind of enjoyed this movie is kind of low on my list because of a bad experience, but it was pretty good. It had some good action. Okay, next one we've got Never Let Go. Never, Never, Never Let Go. With, oh, what's her name? I forget what her name is. I'm not really great with names. Celebrity names. But, it was kind of like a horror movie. And I can do horror movies, but I can't do like gore and like really intense violence. I could not see Terrifier. I watched the first movie and I had like nightmares for like 2 years. Don't lie. But like I can't do that. So, but this one was kind of okay, and like there wasn't really any gore. Mostly like jump scares, which I love here and there. Not all the time, but you know, sometimes I do enjoy a good jump scare. Okay, next we've got Venom: The Last Dance. I was expecting a little bit more, I guess, from this movie since it was kind of like the last, you know, movie in its kind of like thing. But it had some good parts, and I enjoyed seeing like all the symbiotes. I think it was like after the third act, or like during the third act. I thought that was a good sequence. Next, okay, the last movie on the C tier is gonna have to be Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Frozen Empire. Kind of like how it is outside Frozen. This movie was pretty good. It was really good. I just kind of feel like it was kind of underwhelming during some parts, but I did enjoy seeing like all the cameos from, you know, the 80s movies, the original movies, and yeah, I think it was pretty good. Okay, next we are moving on to B tier movies, and so first on our B tier would have to be Bob Marley. Bob Marley, One Love. This one kind of was like a musical, but not. It's kind of like the same as Back to Black, where it had like musical moments, but none of it, like it wasn't actually like a musical, like Mean Girls or something. But it was really good. It was, you know, really emotional, and it was nice seeing. It's nice seeing like the back story to like a lot of these artists. I feel like I have stuff in my mustache. Sorry about that. Don't look at that. Okay, next we've got Love Lies Bleeding. I saw this one with my sister, and she was like so confused during the end of this movie, and I kind of was, but I enjoyed it. I don't know why, but it was really nice, and I think this movie was set in the 80s, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it a little bit. Okay, next we've got The Crow. Now I know a lot of people kind of like hate this movie because it's like a what do you call it? A reboot, I guess. But I enjoyed it, and I liked the darker aspect, the atmosphere of this movie. Kind of like reminds me of like the 2000s, I guess, maybe. I don't know. But it's kind of like unique because most movies are like super bright, and this one was really dark, which I actually enjoyed. Okay, next we've got Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and before I saw this movie, the day of, I watched the first two because I never saw the first two, and it was kind of great continuing the story at the theater when I watched the first two in my bed. I thought that was funny, but I think it was really great doing it. It had some good moments, and it was pretty funny. Jim Carrey is always kind of a funny guy. Okay. We're like halfway through. Okay, next we've got Bad Boys, Ride or Die. Bad Boys, Ride or Die. Some of these movies I don't really have a lot to talk about because, they were kind of just good movies, but this movie was a continuation of like the kind of, the movies beforehand, and I thought it was pretty good. Okay, next we've got Speak No Evil. Speak No Evil. This one had some good jump scares, some good horror aspects. No like gore or like intense violence, but it was pretty scary and like most movies had some good elements. Next we've got Maxine with 3 X's. This movie was set in the 80s, I believe, and I enjoy movies kind of like in that kind of atmosphere, in that era. The soundtrack was killer. I did enjoy that, and there was some good like horror elements to it. Okay, next we've got Craven the Hunter. Craven the Hunter. This movie had really great action sequences, and I enjoy like superhero movies where some of the characters are like really comics accurate, and like Rhino, although he wasn't like super comics accurate, like how he looked was so, but like if he was like kind of like bigger like the Hulk, then he would be super accurate, but I thought it was pretty okay. And the chameleon, towards the end of the movie was pretty, that was good. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Next we've got Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Now I never watched the original Mad Max films. I think there's like 4. I never watched them, but I have been recently, like yesterday, a few days ago, I just watched Mad Max 2. And I have the first one, the Mad Max, the first movie on VHS tape. And, it's I don't know how to explain it, but when I saw Furiosa, I thought it was pretty cool. And I don't know, it just gave me like this weird, not weird, but like a nice vibe. I don't know, it's weird seeing like the kind of like the world that they're in, like post-apocalyptic kind of almost. Okay, next we've got The Ministry of next, I don't know how oil works. Okay, next we've got Blink Twice. This movie was kind of like, it had like a slow start, but towards the end of the movie, it got really good and suspenseful, and had some really good fight kind of sequences. And, yeah, let's see, third act, yeah, it had a good third act sequence. Next, we've got Deadpool and Wolverine. When I first watched this movie, I was in shock. I was like, oh my god, I love this movie, but when I saw it a second time, I just did not kind of enjoy it. Maybe that's because, I knew what was coming, and, like, don't get me wrong, it was really great, it had some really great scenes and stuff, but I don't know, like, the second time I was just, like, really bored with it. Not to say that it was, like, a boring movie, but I guess since I've already seen it, I don't really see movies twice at the theater, but yeah. Okay, next we've got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This movie was really great. It felt really long, but I enjoyed it. And I really liked the Caesar funeral scene during the beginning. I thought that was really touching, and I think I watched the movies beforehand so I could prepare for that movie. So I'm thankful that I did. Okay, next we've got Alien Romulus. This one was really great. Really great horror. And I think they're supposed to be coming out with a second part or something, second movie. Or like a next movie. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, this is the last movie on our A tier, which is Challengers. I probably could have put this movie on my S tier, but it's like in between A and S. But Challengers was really great with Zendaya and I forget who the other two guys are, but the soundtrack for this movie was amazing. And the only thing that kind of, I think why I put it down on my A list is the flashback sequences. I felt like they were really confusing. To like kind of understand what was happening. I don't know if maybe you feel the same, but and then I think there was maybe a little too many slow motion sequences. I mean, I love a good slow-mo sequence, but I think maybe there was a little too much, but I did enjoy the movie a lot. Okay, now we're moving on to our final tier, which is S. The S tier. And we've got 8 movies. 8 movies left that I saw last year. Okay, so from the bottom of the S tier to going up, we've got Wicked. Wicked was an amazing movie. I used to have a really big crush on Ariana Grande back in high school, and I went to her honeymoon tour back in 2016. So it's kind of funny to see kind of her evolution, if you want to say that. Okay, next we've got Beetlejuice. This movie was so fun. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed like the first movie because like who doesn't love Beetlejuice? But the soundtrack and the tragedy, the Bee Gees tragedy sequence was amazing. I enjoyed that. I love the Bee Gees. Okay, next we have It Ends With Us. I know this movie has like a lot of controversy, but I saw this movie with my family at a drive-in theater, so I don't know if maybe that upped the experience, but I thought it was super good, and I cried. I actually did cry during this movie. I enjoyed it a lot. Next we've got The Wild. Okay, so this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we are moving on to my top 5 favorite movies of was the best animated movie of the year. And I definitely did cry multiple times during this movie, and I don't usually cry a lot during movies, but I did for this one like multiple times because it was so like emotionally beautiful, if that makes sense. And then next we've got Civil War. I think this movie had a little bit of controversy too, but and I'm not really that into like politics and all that stuff, but I feel like I was personally emotionally invested in like the main characters. So when like Kirsten Dunst's character died at the end of the movie, I definitely cried. And I don't know, like I definitely cried during the when the older photographer died, and like they were driving through like the flames, the what do you call those kind of like flare things that go. That was beautiful. I enjoyed it. Okay, next, number 3, top 3. Okay, number 3 is The Fall Guy. This was a really fun movie. I enjoyed the soundtrack, and I liked the, I felt like, Emily, what's her name? Emily, I forget what her name is, but I know it starts with Emily. Emily Blunt, and oh my god, I'm blanking on the names right now, but Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling had some decent chemistry, and it had some good moments. Okay, number 2, top 2, Smile 2 is oh my god, I had so much fun and like such a good time watching this movie. Like the music aspects of this movie, like when Sky Riley, the main character, had like her concerts and stuff, like the pre-concert kind of like thing, performance, that was amazing. I definitely listened to the soundtrack multiple times after the few weeks that it came out, and like even like to this day I still do. I still listen to it. It's amazing, and Naomi Scott's performance in this movie was phenomenal. Like, oh my god, I'm like, she's definitely like one of my like crushes right now. But yeah, super amazing, so scary. I jump scared a lot. I cried a lot. Oh my god, it had everything. And then number one, my favorite movie of the year was Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. And I feel like this movie was super fun. It was a good adventure. It was amazing an adventure. And I love movies with like world destruction. So there was so much world destruction in this movie. It was like intense, but there were some really great sequences, and I enjoyed seeing like all the new Titans that they introduced. Like even if it like they just appeared once on the screen, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. But yeah, so that is it for 2024 movies that I saw. We're at 36 minutes right now. That's crazy. So anyway, I'm gonna end it here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. So